again. I'm Titus, otherwise known as Gin Poodle. I have an Etsy shop of that name, and I'm here to talk to you again about everything I've been making recently. This is predominantly a knitting podcast, but sometimes I'll talk to you about other things that I've been making. This week though, it's pretty much all knitting, tiny little bit of sewing, project bags, and crocheting snoods again. This is my episode number 7. So let's get started. I never have a lot of finished objects. If you're here for lots of finished objects, that's probably not me. I do have time to do things, but because I'm making things for my Etsy shop, sometimes I don't have a lot of time to actually finish other things. But let's not let that stop us. So this week I have made quite a few snoods. What I'm trying to do is, I used to always try and make my snoods, if you don't know what a snood is, I'm wearing one. And I know I'm a redhead, and redheads aren't supposed to wear, convention is that redheads shouldn't wear red, but I mean, really, are we here to be conventional? No. So I usually make, when I'm making my snoods for my Etsy shop, I make them in 3 sizes, because I've got short, my hair comes down to about here, and it's very fine. So a traditional snood that you buy from just anywhere comes in a standard size, and it's way too big for me. I just don't fill them out. Even when I grow my hair longer, I really never grow it down more than here. It's still not going to fill out a standard snood. So I make mine in a small, a medium and a large. I wear a small, and I just about fill it at the moment. I'm trying to grow, I had my hair cropped, which was a huge mistake, so I'm growing it out slowly. Anyway, I used to when I'm restocking, it's very hard to restock because I have the happy problem of they sell out quite quickly. So I would make one of each size, but I do like 36 colours, so I could never get them all in stock at the same time. So it's really only black that I keep one of every size in stock all the time. Having said that, I've just sold out of the medium, but I should make another one today. But it doesn't really work if you try and make 3 of one colour and then try and restock that way, because you just can't keep up with it. So what I've been doing is just making one size of each colour. So I'm slowly getting a broader range of colours that are in stock. So if you are in the market for a snood and you can't see your size in stock, you just send me a message. I'm on Instagram, I've got a Facebook page, or you could just message me through Etsy, and I'll make one up for you in the size that you want. And it usually only takes me a couple of days. So yeah, so that means I have a red one in stock. This is my red one, this isn't the one in stock. This one, which I call old school tie, because it's those sort of colours, isn't it? I've got this one, it's very bright purple. It's not showing up brilliantly well here, but this is, if you're in the UK and you know Cadbury's Dairy Milk chocolate, don't tell me you don't know. This is the colour. This is the same purple as the foil wrapping. And this little wispy thing is that one's cotton, so that one's a little bit more expensive, and this one is cotton. So this one's a little bit more expensive, and this one is one that I do without a ribbon, just because I can't find a shade of grey that goes very well with it. I mean, if you want a ribbon, I can put a ribbon on, but I don't have this shade of grey, which is quite hard to find in satin ribbon. I don't know why. So yeah, so that's it for snoodage. Snoodage is done. Now I've got my little book of things I'm supposed to tell you about. I mean, I've also made like an orange one, maroon and yellow and red. I've said red. yeah, there's quite a lot going on. I've also I'm in the middle of making now. A lot of people do contact me every now and then and say, can you make one in a specific size? And I always say no, because I just want to stick to what I do. I know what I'm doing with what I'm doing, and I like the way they fit. And if you mess about too much with the design, is it going to go horribly wrong? So generally I say no, but this woman contacted me, and I don't know why. I just took to her, and I've just said that I will make her like a super long snood, like super long. She's got very long hair, and I don't normally do that because I always think that they're gonna like pull off the back of your head if the weight of your hair is too much. But you know, she knows her hair. She has worn snoods before. She just doesn't like the fit of the ones that she's had before. So fingers crossed she'll like mine. But I really don't know why I agreed to it, because it's she wants two, and they are super long, and they're going to take me like, they're taking me days to make one. So, but when they're done, and hopefully she'll be happy with them. And if she's not, she'll have to send them back, and goodness knows what I'll do with them. I'll have to go and catch salmon with them, I guess. They're so massive. Now then, do I have any finished objects? Do I? I don't know that I do. I think it was only snoods. I think it was. I might have shown you before. I made a pink Sophie scarf, which I absolutely love, and I wear it a lot. And I wear it like a little neckerchief. I don't know if maybe I didn't show it to you. Oh well. But sometimes I wear it like a little headband as well. And I went to, I'll tell you about this later. I went to the Giles Brandreth jumper exhibition at Petersfield Museum the other week, and I wore it there, and that was a treat. That was a real treat. I mean, it's a really small exhibition. I mean, they've sold it as if it's like quite a big thing, but it's like half a room with about 10-15 jumpers in there. But they're worth going and seeing, because, you know, well, I love Giles Brandreth anyway, and a jumper with intarsia patterns pictures on is, I mean, they're just really fun. And I've got the book, the original book from the 80s with the with some of the knitting patterns in, and I can't find it, but I want to make a couple of them because they're just really funny. Now then, let me tell you what I've been working on this week. I am still really struggling with my hardware jumper. I don't know what I've done, but I've done something hideously wrong. Oh, it just you know when something just will not go right. I finished the body, and I've sewn it up because it was sew it up or chuck it in the bin. Now, the body is absolutely fine. I really like it. It's got these planned ladders in it, which I think are super fun. And you see one if I stick my hand up it. Here's one. Yeah, look, they've got all these like planned ladders in it. It's got a little bit of slightly punkiness to it, and I really I've loved making it until we got to the bit where we make the sleeves, and it's all gone wrong. And I swear I have followed this pattern. This is not my first rodeo. I have made jumpers before, and I've never had this problem before. So, see if you can spot the problem here. Here is the armhole on the body. It's quite a deep armhole, but this is a man's jumper. Now, at this point, you do a few little decreases here, and then you do some more gradual decreases here, but at this point, the pattern says to you to knit until the armhole depth is 26 centimetres. So that takes you up to about here, and then there's some more decreasing for some shoulder shaping. But when you do the sleeve, when you get to the point where this is blocked and it's got to be unpicked, so it looks a bit wibbly wobbly, when you do the armhole shaping, and then you do those close decreases, and then you immediately go into the sleeve head shaping. So that's it. So that pretty obviously is never ever, when you fold your sleeve in half, well, you can see how irritated I am by my voice, can't you? When you fold the sleeve in half and match it up to the armhole, nowhere near at all, and I don't know what I've done. I can't fix it, I can't make it better, I can't work out at all, and I've emailed the designer 3 times and I feel like I don't need to bother that woman anymore. And it's Erika night and she's a good designer and loads of people would be moaning about it. She made mistakes in her patterns and no one does. So the problem is definitely with me. They've checked the pattern, they can't see she works with her daughters, isn't she, Arabella, and they've both checked the pattern. They can't find any issues with it. It's one of their favourite designs and it's been made loads of times. Interestingly though, that only 3 projects on Ravelry with it, so I don't know if that's because of the great Ravelry exodus of people that struggle to use Ravelry, or if it's just a not very popular pattern, but it's a great pattern. So what I've done is, as I said, I've sewn it up and I've just picked up stitches on the other armhole and I'm just going to knit a sleeve the way I'm going to do it, and I'm just doing some decreases here. Like every 3 rows I'm doing a decrease until and that should get me down to, by the end of the sleeve, to the correct number of stitches to do the rib. I'm going to chuck in the planned, like in this one that I finished, the sleeve that I finished, you see there's 2 planned ladders. There's one down by the cuff, which is pretty cool, it goes right down into the ribbing, and there's one that goes from the middle up to nearly the top. So I'm going to chuck those in, but I'm doing it from the top down now instead of from the cuff up, because I couldn't make it work at all. And then they said, oh, it's probably because I've substituted yarn, but I'm on gauge, and I didn't like to point it out because I had already said this in a previous email, but when I bought the pattern and the yarn, Erika was doing a pop-up at Stag and Bow in London, shop in London, and the pattern calls for cotton yarn, and I don't like working with cotton very much in knitting, so she helped me with the yarn sub, and this is also her wool. This is her I think it's just called British wool, something like that. Anyway, the meterage and the gauge would all work out fine, so it should just knit up perfectly. And I don't know, I just don't know what's wrong. But I'm hoping before next winter that I'll finish it and that I've got enough yarn for the sleeves, because if they've knit up that small, and also they're narrow, they're really narrow. When you knit them to the pattern, they like hug your arm, but on the actual pattern you will see that they're not that close fitting. I mean, they're not baggy, but they're a loose fit. Don't know, I've done something, but I don't know what. So hopefully my bodge will fix it. If my bodge doesn't fix it, then I'm going to have to just unravel the whole thing and just knit a different pattern with that yarn, because it's really lovely yarn and I really love the colour. I don't know, I'm baffled by it. I can't find, the only project on Ravelry where someone's got quite a lot of notes in it is in Japanese. So that wasn't massively helpful to me, because to say my Japanese is limited would be a gross understatement. So yeah, I'm a bit miffed. To tell the truth, I'm a bit miffed with it, because like I say, it's not my first jumper, and I have read and reread that pattern and can't see it. Maybe it's one of those things where you've read it so many times that you can't see it anymore. Anyway, let's move on. Let's just move on to something happier. And what can be happier than another Sophie scarf? When you want to be cheerful, knit a Sophie scarf. It's so easy. It's such an easy pattern. I'm using Baram U yarn in the colour It's a Titus Wesley Bob. So this one is, it's 70% British wool, 30% alpaca, and the British wool is a blend of 50% Wensleydale and 20% blue-faced Leicester. Oh, I love blue-faced Leicester yarn. That's what that hardware jumper isn't it out of. So look, oh, it's this lovely jewel red. I love that. Doesn't suit me at all. Well, actually, no, it would suit me. It doesn't matter if it suits me. It's not for me. This is a gift. This is a gift for a woman that's about to do me a great kindness. And I missed her birthday. I didn't know it was her birthday, so I can't really say I missed it if I didn't know about it in the first place, can I? But yeah, when I see her next week, it will have been her birthday last weekend. So I want to take her a little gift. So I'm making her a ruby red Sophie scarf. I don't even know if she's a knitter, so she might not be aware of it. But I just thought it'd be a nice little thing. Like, it's just such a nice little wrap around. Oh look, that's really nice. I won't do it up. I'm so nearly finished. And I just want to make loads of them. Oh, I'm all of a tangle now. That's alright. So, only thing I've done differently with this is I did an I-cord cast on, because on my one, my pink one, which is pale pink, my start bit looks a bit messy. It's me. It was me, over eager to start and not eager enough to be neat. So yeah, I'm doing an I-cord cast on, I'll do an I-cord bind off. Look how close I am to finishing. I've got to get down to like the starting number of stitches. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So I've got another, I think about 4 repeats before I'm able to cast off, and then I'll block it, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So you know, when people, you've seen that on Instagram, people roll them up so that it looks like a little croissant. Then that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll give it to her, and hopefully she'll like it. And maybe she's got a dog and she can wear it when she walks her dog. Just touch it. And she's got dark colouring. She's got really dark hair, and she seems to tend to wear dark clothes. So I just thought, it's not a pillar box red. It's a wearable. It's a wearable red even for people that are not that keen on red. I was going to do green, and then I thought, well, some people are really iffy about green, aren't they? That's a bit of a Marmite. I love green. Some people think green's unlucky. Also, maybe it'd be a bit too bright for her. And I had some really nice sort of O'Donnell silk yarn, which would have felt lovely. But again, she's got dark hair, very dark hair. She looks like maybe she would tan easily. So I thought maybe that colour might be a bit too wishy-washy on her, but I think that would be really nice, and I hope she likes it. And even if she doesn't like it, maybe surely she'll appreciate that I've put some effort in. And she can always re-gift it, can't she? She can always do a little re-gift. Now, I've got a great thing. This is a purchase and a project. Now, I think I might have shown you this before. I'm very late with trends, like the Sophie scarf. I made them like a year ago. And the same with the half and half shawl. Maybe people made this like 2 years ago. I don't know. But I really like it. So I don't know. I'm doing the massive one. And although I know I've just said that I don't really like using cotton yarn, but this was on sale. A seller who's at Unravel, who's only been there 1 year, I think. I've never seen them again. And they had this yarn, which is the Adriafil Rugiada 4-ply, and it's got stellina in it. It's got silver sparkles in it. So I've gone for the absolutely massive size, and I feel like I've been knitting it for about 100 years, and I'm not really getting anywhere with it. The stitches to decrease don't seem to get any lower all the time. Anyway, we spent a bit of time there working out whether I'd have enough yardage with what I was buying from them to finish it, and yeah, we worked it out and it was absolutely fine. But this is how much I've got left, so that was not good. And then it's one of those yarns, because it was in their sale bin, I thought, I bet that's been discontinued and I won't be able to get it anywhere, so that will be an absolute disaster. But luckily, my locally, well, not my localist yarn shop, it's the one in the next town along in Havant, is called My Yarnery, and they're really nice in there, and they only blooming sell it, don't they? And she said she had about like 15 of one and 20 of the other, so I was going to nip over there last Easter weekend to buy some, and then for various reasons I couldn't get over there, and I wasn't really sure what their opening hours were, so I bought it online. And because they're local, they have you can either do like a Royal Mail delivery, or they've got a thing where they say free delivery if you live in these postcodes, and one of them was mine, so I thought, well, I'll go for that. And it just says we'll be in touch to arrange delivery. I thought, well, maybe it'll turn up in a week's time or whatever, like maybe it's up when someone's passing, they'll, you know, I don't know, I didn't really know. I thought maybe they have to get like a batch together and they get a courier who goes out. So I ordered this on the 13th of April. Today is the 15th and this arrived yesterday. A woman knocked on my door and she just went, I've got your wool. Here it is. I mean, what a great service. I'm absolutely delighted with that. I've spent about 30 quid on extra yarn for this. So I want another 3 balls of it, because I think I've probably got... Oh, right, I've used markers for every 50 stitches. I've got 100... So I've got less than 150. So I reckon 1 ball for 50 stitches. So I'm assuming that, obviously, because I've run out of the bright green, that I would have run out of the which one? This is the emerald green. It's not really emerald green, so it's teal. So I'll do the same amount. So hopefully I'll be able to get a lot more of this done. Now, I'm not expecting to finish this anytime soon. I don't even know if I'll finish it this year, because it is so massive. And then once I've done this side, obviously I've got to do an equal amount on the other side. So I'm looking forward to wearing it, or just having it. I'm doing an I-cord edge as well on mine. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I haven't quite woven in my ends properly. I really like the colours. I love the colours. And it's just a nice, easy, simple thing to do, you know, like when you're watching TV or whatever, and you don't have to think about it. You just, because it's all garter, and it's just, you just do a, well, I'm doing German short rows. The pattern does actually say to use wrap and turns, and that they'll give a crisper, nicer finish, but I'll live with it. It'll be fine. So yeah, that's a happy thing, and I was so pleased with that. I thought that was such a good service to just like literally knock on my door and drop it round, and I was all kind of like, oh, when she when she came to the door, she was like, "Here's your wool," and I was so kind of like, oh, how brilliant, that I could barely speak to her. So she probably just thought I was, I don't know, I hope she didn't think I was rude, but I was a bit kind of like, oh. And also, I was piddling about on my phone at the time as well, and I've got a Ring doorbell, and she rang the doorbell, and because I was watching reels or some idiot thing on Instagram, it didn't actually make a noise. So it took me a minute to work out that the woman at the door was actually at the door for me. I don't know who else she'd be at the door for. But yeah. So, I've got another 2 whips. I'm trying to not be too whippy. I want to finish some stuff this year instead of just doing little bits on 10,000 projects. Oh, I just hit myself in the eyeball with a knitting needle. Oh, that was stunning. Right, so temperature scarf. I've shown you this before. I'm going to show you this every single month. January. Or the lighter the colour, the nippier it is. So January, quite nippy. February, fair amount of nip in there, but you know, a big chunk of getting more pleasant. March. Oh my goodness. March is my birthday month and it has no business but having that much nip in it. It was nippy. So, the green is like a bearable temperature, but you still need a jacket. But April, we've had a new colour introduced. Yellow. Yellow is for, it's quite a nice day. So yellow is for 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that was quite a pleasant day. But yeah, we've had where it's next to a lighter colour, like that's quite nippy. That icy blue, that's quite nippy. And these greys, there's a lot of grey because we had a lot of rain, and the grey is for that sort of rainy, sleety, rainy, rubbishy weather. But yeah, the very light blue, that's pretty nippy. That's nippier than rainy days. So we've had some like days where it's quite nippy overnight in the morning, and then really nice around lunchtime, and then back to a bit of nip. So yeah, I shall show you that again next month. I had to buy more grey. We've had so much rain and general rubbish weather, and the nippy blue. Nippy blue I've had to buy a second ball of. So I'll probably end up buying, and that all came from My Yarnery as well actually. So that, I imagine I'll probably have to buy another couple of balls of that for the other end of the year when we start getting nippy again. But at the moment, the weather seems to be getting warmer, and I think next week, I think there'll be quite a bit of yellow in this. I don't think we're going to be going on to swimming pool blue. I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. May. I think May will be swimming pool blue. One last whip, which is a very long-term whip, because I only knit these socks when I'm on my book group's Zoom call. And these are socks for Andy. These are the grey socks that he has never asked for, but I keep knitting him grey socks. I don't know what's got into me. I have bought him some 2 lots. He did ask for brown socks. I've bought 2 lots of brown yarn, and I haven't cast them on yet, but I'll do them after this. I've decided to do my first ever afterthought heel in these. So this is about here is where he wants the heel. So I'm just doing foot now. So I'm going to go down to the foot, and then at the toe I'm going to use, I think, some West Yorkshire Spinners black yarn for a little strengthened bit, because this is quite oh, it does feel nice. It's all sort of soft and squishy. It's another one that they sell in My Yarnery. This is, oh, I don't think I bought this one here. No, I bought this one when I went to New Forest, that little shop called Wool. Anyway, this is Rico Superbar 12. Yeah, it's a super wash. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and it's very, very soft and squishy, and I think he will end up wearing them kind of almost like slipper socks. But yeah, I'm going to do a cutting heel. I've never done one before, but I mean, gee, so many people do them. How difficult can it be? And it just makes life easier, doesn't it? Just knitting a tube is so simple. You just knit, and you can chat about book. But I'm not doing the book group this month, sorry, rather, because they've chosen a book that I just don't care about. I just don't really. It's I think it's teen sci-fi. Not my thing. Not my thing at all. So I'm skipping this month. And I think that is it for knitting. For knitting and snoodage. I made another project bag. Now this, I'm really quite pleased with this. I don't want the colour to go too bright. There we are. Ooh. Now this yarn, this is a small, so this would be like a sock project, like a 1 skein, possibly a 2 skein project. But once you've got notions and stuff in, look, and I've done this sort of blue silky lining, which is actually most of this is fabric that's come from the green for the base, and the drawstring is where did I buy that? I don't know. It's a solid that I just bought. I think I might have bought it from the local fabric shop. But this fabric, there's you know, you heard of the Rowans Hospice? It might just be a local one. But they have charity craft shops. So they have normal charity shops, and then they have charity shops that only sell second-hand craft items. So they have a ton of second-hand vintage fabrics in there, and this is one of them. This nice stripy, yeah, it's yellow with white and olive and blue, sort of turquoisey blue stripes. So I've done turquoisey blue drawstring, grab handle, and the lining is from a different fabric shop, but from their remnants bin, and it's a fabric shop that also does has a curtain making business, and that is actually curtain lining, and it's very hard wearing. It looks all silky like it would ripped, but it's really nice, tough stuff. And my top stitching is, can you see that? It's yellow because it's got pockets. It's got little pockets. It's got two smaller pockets for needles and bits and bobs, one bigger pocket which you could, you know, fold the pattern up and get it in there, or circular needles or what have you. Yeah, and it's got a little bit of top stitching around the edge here in yellow. There's my little label, my gin poodle label. It's a little sparkle rainbow one. Yeah, so that's not actually in my Etsy shop yet, but that will be going in when its brother and sister arrive. So I've got to make this is a small, and I'd actually run out of this, so I ordered some and it's only just arrived, so I can make the other tab and list that. Also it needs a dry day to take pictures of them outside, so that's that. And then other than that, I think it's really other things that I've been doing, what I've been reading. Have I been talking really quick? Because I've been like 32 minutes and I've talked about 500 things. Oh well. So, what have I been reading? I've been reading everything. I've read so much recently. I've read The Christie Affair. I'll show you on oh, really showed you my driving license. That's The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont. It was good. It's quite fun. It's an imagined account of the 11 days when Agatha Christie went missing. It's a romp. It's really good up until the end, where I don't know. I think that the author took a trip and it just goes absolutely loopy with murders and all kinds of mayhem going on. So up until then, I really liked it. At that point, I had to kind of just decide to like it, even though it wasn't necessarily my thing by then. I've also read recently, do you know the I'll show you on my Goodreads, actually it's probably easier. I'm on Goodreads if you want to follow me on there. I think I'm Titus Makes Stuff on there, which is my personal Instagram account. Jim Poodle is my Etsy one, Titus Makes Stuff is my knitting one. So K is for Killer. Ooh, a little reflection of my ring light there. Oh. Honestly, I'm having a bit of a technology fail. I'm the fail. I read J for Judgment. It's a Sue Grafton book. You know that alphabet books she does. I loved that one. And I also read K is for Killer in the same series, with her female private detective Kinsey Malone, who gets into all sorts of scrapes, and they're quite sort of silly, light-hearted things. I enjoy them. I also read The Railway Detective by Edward Marston. I don't know if you know him. Oh my god, there were loads in the works. recently. I mean, that's quite light as well. It's a crime thriller set in Victorian times, and centred around steam railways. It's fun. It does get slated a bit on Goodreads, but I don't really see why. It's just good fun. And he was out. I went to the Portsmouth Mysteryfest, which is like a sort of literary one-day festival thing where they get all these mystery writers in, and they chat to you about how they write and what inspires them and that kind of thing. And he was there, and he signed my copy, and that was all lovely there. And I bought like 8 books. I bought at least 1 book from each of the authors that gave a talk, and it was fun. It was nice. And there was a woman there who actually goes to my reading group. It's called the Digital Readers Club from Hampshire Libraries, and it's all online. So you either read it on a Kindle or listen to the audiobooks. I tend to listen to the audiobooks. And the actual meetup is via Zoom. So it was nice to actually see one of the women in person there, and she was really nice. So that was nice, that was lovely. And now I am reading Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey, which is so fun. It's really, I mean, it's pretty silly. It is a pretty silly book. I mean, and I think it might be like one of the first books that she published. It certainly reads like quite a young person has written it. And the main character is an absolute dip. She's so silly, but she's really, I mean, she's likeable enough. See, I've nearly finished that. I'm on the last, I'm into, I think, the last 60 pages. So it all feels like it's going to be wound up pretty soon. All the threads seem to be, I mean, I read a review of it where someone was saying it reads like at the end she's just kind of like just gone, right, I need to tie all this up and be done. So, which is one of my bugbears with books, but I am enjoying it. And it's Jane Austen. If you like Jane Austen, you like Jane Austen, don't you? So that's it for books. For podcasts, the ones that I really like, I'm still listening to I always listen to the Archers. I picked up the habit of listening to the Archers when I worked for Dame Zandra Rhodes 100,000 years ago, which was my best job ever. And I would still be there now if only they hadn't made me redundant, me and a whole ton of other people, not just me. Anyway, she's a big Archers fan, so it all goes quiet at 2 o'clock so that you can listen to the Archers in peace while you work. And I still love it, and I'm a bit miffed that they're bringing back a bit of stuff about Rob. I don't really want Rob back in it. He was such a horrible person. And I feel like it's going a little bit shouty as well at the moment. It's a little bit too drama. I like it all when it's a bit more gentle. But my podcasts, my knitting podcasts that I like watching on YouTube are, at the moment, my favourite ones are Ruth Loves to Knit. I really like that. She's such a nice woman. She makes a lot of shawls and jumpers mainly. Yeah, she's fun. And I like, there's an American one called A Friend to Knit With someone called Leslie Friend, and she has got a very sort of, just for a moment there I ran out of storage space. So quickly we'll finish up with yeah, the Knitty Stew is the Canadian air hostess who also knits, and she's really lovely. I love watching her. I've been to, like I said, the Mysteryfest in Portsmouth library, which was really good. I went to Havant library. Oh no, was it? No, it was at the Spring Arts Centre in Havant. They had an exhibition about Butterwick, where there used to be a Butterwick factory in Havant, where they folded and packed up all the patterns, which is long gone. And I was a bit disappointed with it, if I'm honest. It was mainly, I think the main use of it was to promote the print to order textiles of the person who put the exhibition together. There wasn't an awful lot really of insight into what it was like. They had some little clips of people sharing memories about working there, which was quite nice. But I thought they would have more pictures of patterns of the time and what people had made themselves, and there wasn't any of that. It was in one very small room. I mean, it was free to go to, and it's finished now, but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that. And as I said before, I went to the Giles Brandreth jumper exhibition at in Petersfield Museum, which is a really lovely place. There's a new little coffee shop opened in there, which they call it a cafe. It's really not, because I was hoping to have lunch there. They don't really do any lunches. It is literally a coffee bar, but very nice, and they do pastries and things. So that I really enjoyed. I love Giles Brandreth. I bought a few of his books as well, and it's well worth going. The exhibition itself is very, very small, so I think it was only about £8 to get in. So I don't think that I would really have paid £8 to just go. I mean, there are other things in there that you can look at, which it's well worth a visit. But if you're going there literally, if you've been around that museum before and you're going just to see the jumpers, I'm not sure it's worth that money. But oh, excuse me. That's it. I think that rounds us up for another month. I might come back a bit sooner. I'm a bit free with my time at the moment. I'm changing jobs, so I'm going to be working from home, so I won't need to commute or walk anywhere. It's much nicer job too, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. But it will give me a bit more time at home, so hopefully I'll be able to record a little bit more often. So I'm going to wind up for today and love you and leave you. I wish you all the best. I hope your crafting brings you joy, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Can you please subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, something along those lines if you'd like to. I'd really appreciate it, and it will help get this little podcast better known. Thank you very much again for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.